Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 83 of the Talk is Cheap show. Hope you're all well, healthy and COVID free. Thanks to everyone for tapping in. We truly appreciate your support. We've got another excellent show lined up for you today. But before we do that, let me take time out to do our now cursory but legendary introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is both my pleasure and honor to bring to you today my co-host, expert analyst and good friend, the charismatic, the charming, the classy, the cavalier, the candid, the cathartic, the commanding, the compelling, the colossal, the congenial, the cerebral, the super confident, the card-carrying, YouTube legend and center of all attention. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in the house. What are you saying, bro?
It's coming home. It's coming football. Hey, I'm telling you, bro, I owe you a check for that. I don't know what half of them words mean, but they sound good anyway. So it's legendary, man.
Because Muhammad Ali that once famously said when a reporter was introducing him, he was using some big words. And he goes, I don't know what that means, but if it's good, then I'm it.
Nah, big up, bro. I hope you're good, man.
Yeah, I'm all right, man. How you been? Tell the people what you've been up to briefly.
Bro, I've just football fever, man. The whole country, man. Do you know what? After such a crazy year and a half with the pandemic, it's amazing the power of football, man, and the way it's lifted the country. People who don't even like football are like, yo, I feel great. And, you know, let's just hope they do actually win the tournament.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm getting the sense that the momentum shift is with England, you know. But yeah, we're going to discuss all that, man. But yeah, man. But before we talk about the Euros, in these past couple of weeks when we've been doing the shows, we've been doing our news and notes, and we've been kicking things off by looking at Arsenal and the latest with regards to them and their transfer activity or lack thereof. So let's kick things off by looking at that. Last week we spoke about Albert Sambi. There I go, butchering that name again. Albert Sambi Lokonga. Currently of Anderlecht, but we're expecting him to join Arsenal very soon. Now, the latest news, as I'm being informed, is that announcement is to be made next week. So that's good news. I'm also hearing that an announcement is to be made on Nuno Tavares as well, your friend.
The big dog.
The big dog in the house. Where the dog's at? Yeah.
Where the dog's at, man.
Yeah, so we should be acquiring a central midfielder and a backup replacement left back. It's not replacement really, is it? It's backup.
Backup. It'll be the Kolasinac replacement, I suppose.
Yeah. And we're also said to be in advanced talks with Manuel Locatelli. Have you heard anything about that?
I think the general feeling is that Locatelli is going to go to Juventus, but if they somehow can't afford the money to get the deal done, Arsenal are kind of waiting there in the background. So it's not impossible. You know, the rumours are that Juve are 200 million in debt. So maybe we'll be the side dish that he don't really want, but he just takes it because there's nothing better. So
would you want to play like that, though?
Look, it's not the...
Because what I'm hearing is his preferred destination is Juve.
Yeah.
He's Italian. His preferred destination is Juve. Let's be honest, he's going to win more trophies at Juve, I would have thought. He's also going to get Champions League, which we can't offer him. So I don't know how realistic that signing is. I mean, I'm hearing that we're in advanced talks, but what does advanced talks really mean?
Yeah, I don't really know. Listen, I think at the moment, beggars can't be choosers. It's not the right... Ideally, we want him to be like, listen, Arsenal is a dream move and so on, but you know, Lacazette had agreed to go to Atletico and he came to Arsenal. You know, you're not always the player's first choice, but if he comes here and performs, I don't think any Arsenal fan will complain. So naturally, he's going to want Juventus, but if it falls through, you know, maybe we're there in the background.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit skeptical as to the mindset of a player that, okay, if we was to get him, we know that his heart was set on another club, and you wonder how that's going to work out long term. I'm not saying it wouldn't work out, but in those moments of doubt, every time he doesn't have such a great game, fans like myself will be thinking, well, he didn't really want to come here in the first place, you know. So, but anyway, we'll see how that one plays out. Like I said, there's information suggesting that we've been in advanced talks with him and the club, but we'll see how it happens. What about this one? Arsenal said to be actively pursuing Ruben Neves as a possible replacement for Granit Xhaka. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, listen, I think that one's possible because the rumours are that Wolves are willing to sell him. Had a great season the first year in the Prem. He was actually linked with a move to Manchester City for around £50 million at the time. So Arteta was obviously Pep's assistant at the time. I'm sure they would have spoken about him and things like that. He wasn't as good last season. I suppose he's seen as a Xhaka replacement. And I think Arsenal are looking at him. I think it's a possible deal that they could get done. I mean, I think we all want Basuma, but it seems like the more we want Basuma, the more Arsenal veer away from him. So, but I think Neves is possible.
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that. The latest on Ben White, it would appear that we've upped the offer. And we've been doing that, it would appear, to stave off the likes of Man City and now Chelsea, who are also attempting to gazump the deal. So what's your thoughts on that one, bro?
Listen, if they've identified him as their main defensive target, then I want to see them get it done. Whether he's the right signing or not, whether we're overpaying, is neither here nor there. Listen, I always say when a player does well, nobody talks about the transfer fee. You only talk about the fee when a player's not living up to it. Nobody talks about Van Dijk. You know, I'm not saying Ben White is Van Dijk, by the way, but just, you know, if he comes in and he does well, he's 23, he's good on the ball, England international, very highly thought of. Then get it done, you know, get the deal done. It's there to be done. They want 50 million. You've offered 45, you know.
I'm hearing that extra 5 mil. I'm hearing it's gone up to 48 they've offered.
Yeah, 48 and a pound probably, knowing Arsenal, isn't it?
But why is it we seem to struggle to get these deals across the line? Because, like, you know, Ben White's been linked with us now for a long time.
Yeah.
And you thought it would have got sorted by now. I mean, listen, the club are saying that after the Euros, they expect it to get done. But they would say that, wouldn't they? But it just seems to be dragging, man. And then, of course, all the time it drags, there is the potential for another club to come in at the last minute and get the player. And that would be very disappointing. I mean, you saw what happened earlier, a few weeks ago, with Buendia. And that was a massive disappointment for the club. And to get that deal hijacked, no disrespect, that deal was hijacked by Aston Villa. So if they can do that to Arsenal, you would imagine that Chelsea and Man City are more than capable of doing a similar thing with Ben White. So the longer it goes on, man, the more doubt seems to creep in. Although what I would say on that is that apparently, I don't know this for sure, I'm only going by what I hear, but Ben White seems to be keen to join the club. So that might count in our favour, but, you know.
Yeah, I think this one will get done personally.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so, man. But again, like you said, you never know with Arsenal. The more
you never know,
might not happen. Okay, in other news then related to Arsenal, pre-season is fast upon us. Indeed, it is upon us, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, started yesterday, yeah.
So that's going on. Players reporting back. And we're hearing that next Tuesday, Arsenal to play, I think they're going to be going up to Scotland. They've got
Scotland, yeah.
Organised against first Hibernian and then Rangers. So be interesting to see how they go there.
Yeah, and you know, our array of new signings going over to Scotland. But listen, hopefully within the next week, Arsenal start to get some players announced because, you know, the Euros finishes on Sunday, so we can't kind of hide behind that. Oh, they'll be announced after the Euros. They've got to get down to business now. So, but and even players out as well. You know, we haven't really moved anyone out yet of any significance. So they've got a lot of work to do, Edu and Arteta.
Like you said, you've got the likes of Kolasinac coming back. Exciting.
Yeah. Well, at least we've got security anyway if anything goes wrong.
Talking of pre-season, I mean, as most of our viewers will know by now, you're a former professional footballer. You would have had many pre-seasons. Tell us what it's like coming back from a break, and then that first day when you roll up? Is there that sense of trepidation there, or are players genuinely all keyed up and excited, ready to get some hard work in, or would they have already been training?
No, listen, at the level that those guys are playing at, they would have definitely been training in the build-up. Mine was a little bit different. I didn't quite have the facilities that them guys had. I saw big open fields and hills and cones, but at their level, it's a little bit different. Me personally, I was always generally quite a fit player. So I didn't really dread preseason in that sense. I was kind of lucky but there were certain players, their weight would go up and down and they come back. You're like, yo, you've had a good week in IB for there. You're going to have to run that off, bro. So it was different for different players. There were certain players who used to come back and say, I haven't done one run. And then they'd go on the first run and they'll just blow it away. We're the big guys who've been running for weeks and they were breathing heavy. It was totally different. But I was always...
The first couple of weeks of preseason, they're not going to be with the ball as much, are they?
No, bro. There's nothing worse when you turn up on that field and you're looking around, you're going, yo, where's the footballs? The man said, no, bro. Cones and hills, bro. That's it. I'm like, nah, it's the worst. I'm glad I'm not doing too many of them now, to be honest.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of professionals say the same thing. Yeah. But man, thanks for that insight. What about this one? This is very interesting. Arsenal said to be in talks with Amazon over a documentary, a fly-on-the-wall documentary, similar to the one that Spurs did last year and Man City the previous year or previous years. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, first of all, I've watched a lot of documentaries during lockdown, but this, this is going to blow everything out of the water. And the Tottenham one was quite good because of the drama and Mourinho. Man City one, obviously Pep, but this one, the views on this are going to be crazy. I'm just wondering which episode is Arteta going to get sacked in? I don't know, 4, 5. I'm joking, by the way, before everyone goes mad in the comments. But no, listen, I think it's going to be great. It's going to give people like me and you so much to talk about. Each episode you're going to be like, yo, but I'm really surprised that Arsenal have done it because they're quite a private club. I feel like they don't like revealing too much about what happens, but I'm sure Amazon threw a big boy check on the table and Kroenke and them swooped it up. So I'm looking forward to it.
You raise a good point there, but for a big boy check, that demands that there's going to have to be a certain amount of transparency, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think Amazon are going to pay all that money and say, okay, you can, you've got total editorial control over it. I'm sure they're going to want to see some genuine fly on the wall stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, I was saying to one of the guys here earlier, can you imagine like Mikel Arteta summons in the like of Pepe to his office and saying, look, you are not doing enough. You know what I mean? You need to be working hard, you need to be tracking back. It's going to be very interesting to see the dynamics.
Yeah.
The manager and the players and stuff like that. I could think of a few players that are probably going to feature in this show.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be interesting to see him and Aubameyang and him and Pepe and, him and Leno and 1 or 2 other characters in the team, see how that all... Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that immensely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. Okay. Well, okay then, unless you want to bring up anything Arsenal related, do you? Have you heard, is there anything you can update us?
No, I think like we were saying before, I think Lokonga, they're saying a medical is set to happen. Nuno Tavares, who let the dogs out, he's in quarantine at the moment.
Where? Battersea dogs are.
They're getting him ready for Crufts 2021, you know what I mean? But no, I think he'll be announced soon.
For the uninitiated, Curtis, you tell him, man, because I can't even really.
Well, Nuno Tavares, obviously, this video went out, and this guy's on antics with his dogs, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I prefer not to speak, But yeah, I'm sure the away fans will give him a hard time in England anyway. But
have you seen the video then?
Well, unfortunately, I came across it so I turned it off pretty quick, but. Yeah,
like I said, you told me about it, and I've heard about it from 1 or 2 other people, but I thought I am not watching that video, man.
Man.
No, I think I'll stay away from it. Right, okay then, so that's our Arsenal updates done. Right, now, Euros, man. Euro time. Let's talk about the Euros. Wow. We're really at the business end of stuff now, and I must say I've really enjoyed the tournament, and it's not just because England are in the final. I really have enjoyed pretty much all the games, the excitement, the anticipation. It's been excellent. We're now at the final stage. The last time we had the show, we'd reached the quarterfinal stage. So what I thought we'd do is just have a very brief recap on those, starting with the Switzerland. I'm sure you saw all these games as well. Switzerland won, Spain won in normal time, and after extra time, Spain winning 3-1 on penalties. Any thoughts, Ebra? Quickly.
Yeah, Switzerland did well again. Their goalkeeper Sommer as well has had a very good tournament. Obviously, Spain on penalties. I think Switzerland have really escalated their reputation in this tournament. I think they've done really well. But I think they fell a bit short in the end. It's always tough to lose on penalties, but Spain got over the line in the end.
Belgium won, Italy 2. I know you had a bit of a soft spot for Belgium previously, didn't you?
Well, do you know what? I had a bet on Lukaku to win the Golden Boot, so that was spearing that on a little bit. But they just didn't show up. I mean, Hazard was injured, missed the game. You could see that De Bruyne was not 100% fit. In the second half, he looked like he couldn't run. I didn't think Lukaku played great. I felt like Chiellini and Bonucci manhandled him a little bit. His touch and that was a bit off. He missed a couple good chances as well. Mm-hmm. Italy obviously got the better of him. Insigne scored a great goal and, they went marching on. I just think Belgium, they just seem to flat to deceive in every tournament. They're always one of the favourites. They never reach a final, so... be interesting what happens.
I would say, and I don't, wish this on people, but I think they need a new manager, man.
I agree.
Roberto Martinez is a decent manager, but I think if you're going to operate at that top level and win things, I think you need a manager that can see you over the line. And I'm not convinced that Roberto Martinez is going to do that. And he may have. It may be too late now as well, because this so-called golden generation that they had. These
they're
guys
getting old,
and they're getting more worn. I mean, we saw Hazard, he always injured, never quite on it. So they probably need a new manager, and they need to bring through a new set of players. But they always got an abundance of talent, so I'm sure they'll bounce back. Czech Republic 1, Denmark 2. Everyone's second Denmark. Yeah, they got.
Czech Republic again. I mean, I thought they did well to get to that stage. Really, they put up a good fight. Denmark were the better team, and I wasn't surprised they won the game. I think the better team won. To be honest, I didn't watch all of that game. I tuned in midway through the first half, but I thought Denmark were the better team, could have scored a few more goals and deserved to win.
Yeah. I watched that game, and I can say without any unequivocity that Denmark were the better team and deserved to go through. Right, last but not least, England 4, Ukraine 0.
Light work.
Really. We will try not to be too disrespectful to Ukraine in the build-up in our predictions, but come on, man. I mean, Ukraine were, how can I put it? Diplomatically, one of the lesser talented teams in the tournament, coming up against one of the better teams in the tournament. For me, there's always going to be one winner, and that was England. Fairly comfortable, routine 4-0 win. They did well. Okay, moving on to the semi-finals then. The first one, Italy-Spain. Italy winning 4-2 on penalties after a hard-fought game, in which I have to say I thought Spain were the better side and should have won the game. But as we've seen throughout this tournament, Spain, although they had those 5-goal victories, 5-0 against Slovakia, was it 5-3 against Croatia, they did have trouble scoring despite the amount of possession and chances they create. So what was your thoughts on that game, bro?
I mean, first of all, he decided to play with no striker, so that told you that he lacked, belief in his two front players. When you think they've gone from the likes of Raul to, Morientes, David Villa, Fernando Torres, now, Morata and that Gerard Moreno, neither one of them have covered themselves in glory. Morata did score a good goal, but obviously went on to miss a penalty. I thought Spain were brilliant. I thought they absolutely bopped Italy. I think they had over 60% possession.
They did, yeah.
Pedri, the young guy in midfield, was outstanding. Didn't give the ball away once in 90 minutes. I mean, if they'd have taken their chances, they would have won. Danny Olmo, is it the left wing? I was impressed with him as well. But Italy, you know, they've got that knack about them under Mancini. They seem to find a way, and that's what good teams do. And they ground out the victory in the end.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said there. I mean, I think Spain had 16 attempts on goal to Italy's 7, so that tells you. And they had far and away the more possession. But in this level of football, man, like all levels of football, really, you got to make your possession count and then, convert the chances. And I have to say that once it went to penalties, man, you're looking at Donnarumma, 6'7", this wingspan. You're thinking it's going to take decent penalties to beat him, man. And I just can see them going through. But yeah, I do agree with you that Spain has a footballing side. They're probably the best pure footballing side in the tournament.
Yeah, they play great football. Yeah.
And so to England, Denmark, another hard-fought game, man. But we come through it in the end, 2-1. What was your thoughts on the game, bro?
Oh man, do you know what? It was a dramatic game. I'll tell you that. You know, one thing with England, they remind me of Arsenal a little bit. Like nothing is straightforward. You know, they go 1-0 down. Great free kick. Question marks for me over Pickford. I think a top goalkeeper does more with that free kick. It's not in the top corner. It's a great strike, but he didn't move his feet quick enough. Go 1-0 down. Didn't start the game great. I felt as the game grew, England got better and better. I felt Denmark were running out of steam a little bit. Although Southgate was taking a long time to make the changes. He brought Grealish on, but then didn't make a change until extra time, which I thought was strange. I thought Kyle Walker was absolutely immense in that game. I thought Sterling ripped their fullback to shreds. You know, I think they said Sterling, it was the most successful dribbles past the fullback in the whole tournament for one player. Wow. And I think Sterling's probably been England's player of the tournament.
I would say he's probably been player of the tournament so far.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And then obviously Kane gets the penalty, misses the penalty, the ball falls back to him. You're like, it just feels like it's written in the stars for England. You know, the penalty falls back to him. People were complaining about the Sterling penalty. Now, for me, I think it is a penalty. It's don't get me wrong, it's soft. It's soft, but there's contact. You're running at pace. Managers will encourage a player to go down. The game has changed, unfortunately. So it might be a soft penalty, but I think it is a penalty, and they got the win in the end.
I agree. And talking of penalties, I mean, a lot of Denmark fans were complaining about that, saying that Sterling died. But I think there was an incident earlier with Harry Kane where he could easily have had a penalty for that challenge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I agree with, pretty much everything you said there. I was a little bit worried about Pickford. Even before he conceded that goal, there was a couple of rash moments that he made, and I thought, wow. And I just remember thinking that you saw Schmeichel at the other end looking composed and looking self-assured, and I was thinking to myself, we don't want this game to go to penalties, man.
No.
Schmeichel looks in the mood that he'd save at least one of them. And of course, the penalty that Harry Kane took, had that have been one of the penalties at the end of extra time, him following up and putting the ball in the back of the net would not have counted. So that would have been. But yeah, I do agree that England overall were the better side. Again, they had the greater amount of possession. I think it was approaching 60% to Denmark's 40%.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the stats, I think England had something like 20 odd attempts on goal to Denmark's 6. So whilst it was a hard fought, tense and closely contested game, I do believe that England were the deserved winners. And then we'll go on now to contest the final.
Yeah.
So here we are, man. You know what I mean? So from 6 groups of 24 teams, we're down to just 2. England versus Italy. Massive game this weekend, man. This Sunday, and all to play for. 2 massive football nations. And wow, I'm excited, man. What's your thoughts on Italy? I must say, before you respond to that question, is, and I don't want this to sound a certain way, but I'm actually more happier playing Italy than I would have been Spain, to be honest. And that's even allowing for Spain's frailties up front in terms of their strikers. But the way they keep the ball and the way they play, we would have found it harder to play against them than we do Italy. I'm starting to look at Italy and thinking they may well have peaked. Do you not think so?
I hear what you're saying. I think Spain definitely keep the ball a lot better. They would have made life difficult. Italy have got a bit more of that like bite and spirit about it. I think they got a great manager in Mancini as well. In terms of Italy, though, I don't think England should be going into this game scared of them. You have to respect them because they're a strong opponent. They've got quality players. But I think England should think, listen, man, we've got a real chance of winning this. And even when you look at the bench, you know, the players that England can bring off the bench, the likes of Grealish, Rashford, Sancho, Foden, nobody is who, you know, in the semi-finals has had that kind of quality to bring on, and that can change the game. So I think Italy will be England's toughest opponent that they've had in the tournament, though, because, you know, they got warriors at the back, big goalkeeper. I think their midfield is quality. Barella, Verratti and Jorginho keep the ball. But I think England, they've got to target Italy's defence, which most of the time people would say is Italy's strength. Chiellini and Bonucci are great defenders, but like anything in life, when you get older, you get a bit slower. I think Chiellini's 36, Bonucci's about 33. If you get Sterling making runs in behind and Saka or whoever plays, they're still going to struggle. Their left back has been one of their best players in the tournament. He's injured for a few months. Emerson. Yes, yeah. So Emerson's come in, who is not great at Chelsea. I think England need to score goals against Italy, you know, and I make England favourites to win it. I know a lot of people are saying, you know, Italy and England, but I think England are favourites to win this game. I think if they play well with 60,000 fans and the quality they've got on the bench, I think they can get the better of Italy. If they don't play well, Italy are good enough to expose them and win it.
You know what? I'm with you on that, bro. I am. I think that's a very good summary you've made there, and I agree with everything you say. I think our strengths lie in our attack, although I have to big up the defence. I mean, the other day, Kyle Walker, man, what a beast. And when I say beast, I'm saying not just his physicality in terms of the way he used the ball as well when he won it back. He was superb. John Stones played really well. Luke Shaw played really well. I've been impressed by pretty much everyone in the team. Everyone contributed and played their part. And I agree with what you said about the squad that we've got. You look at the strength we've got on the bench. I would say pound for pound, man for man, in terms of squad, England probably got the strongest squad in this tournament. You know what I mean? And,
I would say along with the French, they definitely are true best squads.
Yeah. But yeah, I certainly think that we match up well against Italy. And I'm confident, man. I think that we got a certain momentum with us. Obviously, the final will be at Wembley, with the crowd very much on their side. They're talking about an increased capacity. And I think all those things, that, you know what I mean, play a big part, man. I really think that, listen, this is as good a chance as we're going to get to win a major tournament. I mean, last time we won a major tournament was in 1966, and I'm in a minority. I was actually alive at that time. It's actually my birthday on Sunday, you know. With the
hey, come on, man! Double celebration there.
Boy, I'm really hoping that, you know what I mean, I'll get that double celebration, man. But yeah, you know what? It's going to be tough. Italy are very resilient. It's not just resilience. I think we do them down a little bit by just talking about their spirit and their grit and their resilience and their determination. They do have some very capable footballers as well. But I just think that we match up well against them. I agree with what you said about we can get the likes of Sterling and Saka on the ball. And it doesn't look like he'll start Grealish, but I'm sure he'll play a part. Those guys have to have the right type of mindset, though. We need guys that are going to take it to Italy a little bit. We do need to be defensively responsible, but we've also got to be attack-minded too. When we get the ball, when we win back possession, or when we get possession, that we need to be thinking forward. That forward pass has to be made. We have to bring the likes of Sterling and Saka and people like that into play. and hope for them to do their thing, man. And I think they will. I think that I'm really confident, but not overconfident.
And like we saying,
I was going to ask, what type of team do you think you'll play? Do you think you'll stick with the same team, or do you think you'll make any changes? Or what changes would you like to see, if any?
I think, just from his point of view, I think he'll pick pretty much the same team. Throughout this tournament, I've always felt like there's only one or two positions in the team that are up for grabs. I think the goalkeeper is set, the back four is set. He likes Phillips and Rice in the middle. Sterling will play, Kane will play. It's only really been, for me, that number 10 role and maybe the right wing spot. You've seen he's rotated Saka and Sancho, and in the 10 role, he went for Mason Mount. I think he played Grealish there once. I think he'll probably pick the same team that played the semi-final. I think he prefers Saka on that right because he offers balance to Kyle Walker. He defends a bit more than Sancho. He cuts inside on that left. That allows Walker to go on the overlap. One or two positions, me personally, I would look at. I'm still not fully convinced by that Rice and Phillips midfield. They have done well, and I give them credit. You know, two young players who've done really well. I just thought when Henderson came on the other day, he offered us a little bit more quality on the ball, that experience. He's used to that big game. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Prem. Mason Mount, although I think he is a good player, I don't think he's been great in that number 10 role. I thought Foden looked better than him when he came on the other day against Denmark.
I think I don't want to interrupt you, but I think the reason why he prefers Mason Mount is that apparently, I mean, I don't know too much about these things, but I'm being advised that Mason Mount's lung capacity, man, his ability to get up and down the pitch is slightly superior to Foden's, and he's preferred for that aspect. That's what people tell me. So I think he offers that extra layer of defense when they need it. He can get back and make tackles, and he's a bit more active than
Foden.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think he'll pick the same team. I agree with you on Mount. Everyone who talks about Mount seems to say his work rate is phenomenal. So I think he'll play exactly the same team that played against that started against Denmark. For me, I think that's the team that he seems to trust the most.
I am a little curious as to the tactics because I don't exactly know how Italy will play. But you look at the game, and you would have thought that the onus will be on England to attack more. I would imagine the Italians are going to go, look, you're at home. You know what I mean? You can have the ball, and we'll look to hit you on the counter. Do you think that's what will play out?
I think so, yeah. I mean, you saw against Spain. I mean, we won't dominate the ball the way that Spain do, but Italy were kind of... They didn't mind Spain having the ball. It was a case of when they get it, they're going to spring. I think their biggest strength for me is their two wingers. I think Insigne on the left and Chiesa on the right. Yeah. Those two are very good, and they'll be looking at Walker bombing on and thinking you can get in that space behind him. And Chiesa against Luke Shaw. I mean, Luke Shaw's had a very good tournament. He really has. I actually thought Chilwell might have played ahead of him at the start because he'd won the Champions League and stuff. But he's gone with Shaw. He's done well. But this will be Luke Shaw's toughest game because that Chiesa is a very good right winger. So I think they will try and hit us on the break and expose our wingers and our wide players.
See, I'm looking at this game tactically, and I'm thinking, I think anyone that's expecting end-to-end stuff,
you're not seeing that.
I don't think we're going to see that. I think this is going to be a bit of a chess match. Certainly in the first half, even 2/3 of the way through, it's still going to be very tight. Both men are going to be cautious. No one's going to want to make a mistake. Both teams are going to seek to be defensively responsible. And so for that reason, I do agree with you that I don't think there'll be any changes to the team. So it could come down to the substitutions, man. And when they're made, that's going to be a crucial part of this game. And I think it's going to be very tight, man. I'm just hoping that it doesn't go to penalties, man, because I have to be honest, man, if it goes to penalties, you would have to favour Italy slightly, given their record of penalties in tournaments, given the Donnarumma factor. Although, to be fair to Pickford, he's got a good reputation as a penalty stopper as well. So who knows, man? But I'd just like to see us do it in normal time, man. I don't want it to go. So I'm more worried about penalties than in normal time. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it immensely. These talks, if we win, there could be a national bank holiday declared the next day.
Yeah,
that would be necessary because I can imagine a hell of a lot of people just taking the day off anyway. So it might be a smart move on the government's part to just do that. But I don't want to be too far ahead, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to tempt fate, but I am confident. I am confident. And now we're getting to that stage of the show, bro, where I'm going to press you for a prediction.
Yeah. Score prediction. It's going to be a tight game. I don't think. I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for England in normal time. Okay. Yeah, I can't see there being more goals than that. Even that might be a stretch. But yeah, I'll go for 2-1 England in normal time. I think they'll just grind out the victory. And do you know what? I can't wait. It's one of them historic moments, isn't it? You know, you may never see England again in a tournament final. We've never seen it up to this point. Well, I haven't anyway.
Yeah, but I don't remember too much about it.
You don't remember too much of it, but
I'm giving you a clue as to my age, man. But yeah, I don't quite remember it, but I'm told it was a great day anyway. But yeah. Up until now, we've not been anywhere near this. I mean, okay, we got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, but this feels a little bit different, I have to say. This does feel a little bit different.
You know what I would say? You know, from a footballing point of view, every one of them England players, they've got the chance here. I mean, they're massive players anyway. They play for England, you know, they're in the Prem. They've all got a chance to just elevate their career to a whole new level, you know. Yeah. Imagine Saka or somebody like that scoring the winning goal. You know what I mean? It's something you're going to see for years and years to come. It's a huge opportunity for them players, and I just hope they embrace that opportunity rather than, you know, the pressure gets to them. So, but I can't wait to watch the game. I've got to be honest.
No, you make an excellent point there about, you know, the state of this game and what it means and what it will mean to those players. And indeed as well, the pressure. We shouldn't underestimate the pressure that they'll be under. Again, another reason why I do believe that Italy will initially sit back. And for the first time on this show, I'm going to disagree with you slightly, bro.
Go on.
I agree with your 2-1 prediction. But I'm looking at that game and looking at the potential caginess and chess match type of scenario. And I'm saying that it will be 2-1 to England, but I think it will be that winning goal will be scored in extra time. I think it's going to be that tight. I think the two teams are going to be very respectful of each other. It's going to be a real chess match. The managers are going to play their role, undoubtedly. And I think it's going to come down to a moment of brilliance or maybe a moment of tiredness, a mistake.
Yeah.
And this is where I want to see like Sterling and Saka and people like that drive at the Italian defense, make them feel their age a little bit.
Yeah.
Do what Sterling did the other day, where he got that mistake out of the Denmark defense here, didn't he? By running it. You know what I mean? Old-fashioned team, man. Run at him, man.
Just run at him, man. Yeah. I think as well, you got to remember, Italy, they've gone to extra time in their last two games. They went to extra time against Austria and then against Spain. So with your older heads, you know, your Bonucci's, Chiellini's, I'm sure they're going to be feeling that a lot more than England have got a very young team. I think one of the youngest in the competition. So a lot of energy there.
And I do think, and again, I hope I'm not doing the Italians down. My mate, my homeboy, Luca's watching this, and I'm sure he'll be on at me after he watches it. But I do think that when it comes to physicality and athleticism, I think that's an area where we are superior to Italy. I do believe that. Having watched both teams in the tournament, I think we're younger, we're slightly quicker and stronger, and I think that might play into our favour, especially if the game goes long, which I'm expecting it to do so. Those are the critical essentials that may, you know what I mean, turn the tide in our favour as the game gets longer. So, yeah, I think a a win in extra time is what I'm going for, 2-1. And like you said, man, if we can pull it off, wow, it's going to be a momentous occasion. Can you imagine how it's going to bring all what's gone on over the past year and a half with COVID and everything else? It's been a real depressing time for a lot of people, man. So for it to transpire this way would be amazing, man. But yeah, man. Can't wait, as I'm sure you're going to be joining us, aren't you? Because we got to watch.
Yeah, I think I'll be joining you on Sunday. So
big man in the house.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? Big celebration time. Your birthday, England. Let's hope we're celebrating.
Wow. So yeah, man. Can't wait. Right. So we've come to the end of the show, bro. Thanks very much, as usual, for coming on and enlightening us with your honest and forthright opinions. Tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Curtis Shaw TV, daily uploads. Big up to everyone for supporting and watching, and keep watching this show as well. Big up to Laurie, quality host, and happy birthday for Sunday. Let's hope we're celebrating.
Let's hope so, man. You know what I mean? I might even buy you a drink.
Right, bloody hell, it must be a big celebration.
And to all the people watching out there, man, listen, thank you so much for tapping in, bro. Really appreciate that. Continue to do so. Continue to make the show interactive. Send us your comments. We can't always get back to every one of them. We get so many comments and feedback on the show. But let me say, we do read them and we do appreciate it. So keep that going, man. We like the show to be interactive. And come on, England, man. I think it's coming on. What about you, Curtis? Coming on?
Coming home, man. I'm telling you, Sweet Caroline, we're going to be singing on Sunday night, man.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot, people. Look forward to seeing you next week. And we look forward to next week being able to say, we told you so. And everyone out there celebrating, man. And yeah, great. Can't wait. See you soon.